Growing up, my family and I always looked forward to the fall season. The main reason being that it gave us an excuse to carve pumpkins. We would all choose our own designs, and when we finished, we would show each other, the best one being the winner. Carving pumpkins is a popular fall activity, which is why I think it's important for everyone to know how to properly do it. I hope that this speech teaches the audience an effective and easy way to carve pumpkins. Throughout this speech, I'm going to talk about the background of pumpkin carving, the materials needed to pumpkin carve, and the complete procedure. As stated in the Taste of Home article, pumpkin carving is one of the most loved pastimes in the fall of the USA. A lot of people enjoy pumpkin carving, but not many know where it comes from. The Taste of Home article also goes on to talk about the history, which is the tale of Stingy Jack. This tradition is what started pumpkin carving and made it become so popular. Stingy Jack was a miserable old drunk who liked to play tricks on people. One day, he played a trick on the devil himself. He tricked the devil into climbing up the tree, and once the devil was up there, he put crosses all over the tree. Since the devil could not touch the tree or the crosses, he had no way of getting down. Stingy Jack, before letting him down, made him promise that he wouldn't take his soul whenever he died. The devil promised, and then Stingy Jack let him down. Later on, when Stingy Jack did die, he went to the gates of heaven, and they would not let him in because of how cruel and mean he was during his life. So, since he had nowhere else to go, he went down to hell and asked the devil to take his soul. The devil kept his promise and said no. Stingy Jack now had nowhere to go. He was wandering around between heaven and hell with no light and completely alone. He went to the devil and asked for help. That's when the devil gave him the idea of creating a light. So all Stingy Jack had with him was a turnip, which was his favorite vegetable. He carved the turnip and put the emerald that the devil gave him inside of it. With this, he traveled between hell and heaven completely alone for the rest of his life, but now he had a light with him. So that is when this story was passed down through many generations, and that's how pumpkin carving became so popular today. It is estimated that $575.26 million will be spent on pumpkins this year alone. That's a huge number, considering that pumpkins haven't always been what everyone uses for carving. They used to use turnips, potatoes, or large beets, which is mentioned in history.com. The history behind pumpkin carving has been mostly forgotten, but this doesn't keep people from continuing to get creative with their pumpkin carving. The materials needed to pumpkin carve are the pumpkin itself. Also, a carving kit is very helpful. Whenever you are planning on carving a pumpkin, you don't always have to get the carving kit. You can use things from home, but most people do get the carving kit. This comes with the prints that you can use when you're pumpkin carving, or you can print them out from online. In the carving kit comes a pumpkin carver, a dry erase marker, a knife. This is considered a knife for the kit. The inside scooper. This is used to scoop up all the seeds. A candle. And newspaper to help make it easier to clean up the mess. The procedure to carve a pumpkin is first you would clean the pumpkin. You would usually have a paper towel, just wet it and wipe it down. Then you would cut off the top of the pumpkin with the pumpkin carver. It's really easy to do this part. This is actually my favorite part. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It could be any shape, actually, as long as there's enough room to stick the scooper through. So you would just stick your scooper through your carver and then continuously go throughout the lines. Once you're finished, you remove the top, and then you take the scooper and you scoop out all of the insides, all of the seeds and everything. This you would place on top of the newspaper so that it's easier to clean up. And the seeds from the inside can actually be used to plant your own pumpkins. Once everything is taken out, you choose the print that you would like to use for the pumpkins. For my pumpkin, I actually used the cat print. You would place the print on here. You can use tape to tape it on so that it's much easier whenever doing it. You can do it without tape, but it is much easier to use tape during it so that you don't have to hold this. And then with the paper still on there, you would take the marker and you would trace the lines, which is what I did here. So this makes it, whenever you're carving the pumpkin, it makes it more accurate. You don't have to guess where to carve. Then you would take your pumpkin carver and you would carve the entire thing, all the shapes. And whenever you do that, if it doesn't come out by itself, you take the knife and you can stick it in the difficult parts. And it makes it so much easier to take everything out. It always works. And if it doesn't take it out completely at once, it takes it out in big pieces. Then you can also add spices to the lid if you want it to smell good. Just any spices that you have at home or something that you want to go out and buy if you like a particular scent. You would put it onto the lid, and then once you put the candle in, the pumpkin, which is the next step, and then you light the candle, you put the lid back on, and it'll smell really good. Or however you want it to smell, it'll smell like that. And that's the complete procedure. The purpose of my speech on pumpkin carving is to demonstrate how to efficiently carve a pumpkin. I talked about the history of pumpkin carving, the materials needed for it, and the complete procedure. Hopefully this is useful for those who may be interested in doing this fall activity. Thank you.